during World War II. It is a site for many moving stories. One day, on his way to the airport, General Chennault saw an old lady leading a group of children. He was curious as to how this woman would have so many children, so he simply stopped her and asked her this question. He learned that the parents of these youngsters were engaged in constructing the airfield. During the war, over 200,000 of Yunnan's people built dozens of airfields in the area. To this day, most of these airports are still standing. Kunming, Yangzhou, Yunnanji, Chenggong, Baoshan, these become familiar names that Yunnan people and American pilots will never forget. In order to bolster sufficient the strength of the airfields to sustain heavy transporters, workers exerted great efforts to build the airports essentially by hand. They devised massive stone rollers guided by ropes with the backs of hundreds of laborers. The airfields emerged to resemble unsinkable aircraft carriers. Statistics indicate that the Han pilots moved around 800,000 tons of supplies onto these airfields. This number exceeds the total amount of all other transportation routes, including the Burma Road, receiving foreign aid. At dusk, the huge rollers which had contributed so much to the war effort lay by the airport. They had been silent witnesses to the youth of these American servicemen, the fascinating history, and the deep ties bounding the peoples of these two countries. With wartime expansion, more and more American soldiers landed in China. In the early spring of 1945, Leon Schlafmann, the young man in the picture, tied his fate with a little boy in Zhangyi County, Yunnan. This boy, named Deng Jinchang, became Leon's foster son. It is a pity that they have all passed away, and we do not have the chance to listen to their accounts firsthand. In a letter that Leon Schlafmann wrote to a Chinese writer, he said, "I was assigned to the 4th Supply Squadron of the 14th Air Force Divisions in Zhangyi, Yunnan. I heard that 2 Chinese guards caught 2 boys aged 14 or 15 who were hiding in the rice paddy in our base. My fate was tied with him when I saw him at first sight. I could not help carrying one of them in my arms, while my friends held the other. We called him Bacon." From that time onward, Bacon lived with Schlafmann, who wrote in his letter, "He brought happiness and laughter to my boring life in an overseas country." Bacon would always stick by me. When Japanese surrendered and I was transferred back to the United States, we cried, "I'd like to take him back to America in my suitcase," but he was too heavy, and it would cause great trouble if we were detected. I left $100 and some clothes for him. I then lost contact with him.
这个老人家呢，这衣服呢，他很珍惜，他保管了40多年，就是他对这个美国人呢，他很坚定的深厚的感情。那么他逝世以后呢，我们也把它是保管起来，包括这个毛巾也是他保存下来的。
In 1981, I wrote to the China Embassy in Washington, D.C. I expressed my hope that they could help me to found Deng Jinchang. 6 months later, I was reunited with my foster son in China.
I have always felt that I had a brother across the Pacific, so I would enjoy being in touch with that family.
My only wish is to go to China and meet my little boy right now. For some time, I've dreamed of him almost every night. I want to meet him." However, this dad and son ultimately had no chance to meet again.